Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. That's Brother Sam TV. If you are new here, consider subscribing. That's Brother Sam TV. Like, share, and subscribe. So today I'm blessed to have a brother from another mother. He is gonna share a little about himself, the way he came up, and the way he found himself in America. Welcome my brother.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yeah, mwanzo sasa naomba maji ambao hawakujui uweze kujitambulisha ili waweze kukujua, alafu tuendelee kupiga story.
Yeah. So my name is Kevin Musau. Come on, this is your first time to see me, of course. Many of them have been seeing me in TikTok, social media. So I don't know, I will say popular or famous, whichever way, but they know me, most of them. In my TikTok, I'm Kevin Musau. In my Instagram, I'm Kevin Musau. In my Facebook, I'm Kevin Musau. And I love God because, of course, where I am today is because of Him. Another thing that I love serving people with kindness, and I love meeting new friends, making new friends, and moving to new environment. That is what I love most, and traveling and catching up with people. That is what I love most.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I really say thank you for coming.
No,
I will be so happy to have you and share a little bit more, because there are some of the people who have the same story as yours. So in the first case, we will be able to maybe ask you about a little bit about your background, where you went to school, how you came up until you find yourself in America.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Personally, I'm going to start with my life story in the bottom where I was born. I was born in a very good family, of course. I usually say thank you to God for giving me daddy and mom, who are so caring to me during the time of growing at the young age, till the age of 9 years. I grew up in a place called Machakos County, that is back in Kenya. And in a family of 4 of us, where I am the second born out of 4. We are all in our family, we are boys. And I went to primary school in Kadana Primary School. Later I transferred to Sophia. Then from there I went to Milini Primary School. Then after I finished my KCPE in Kikombe Primary School, I managed to score very good marks. I had 399 marks. And I joined one of the best high school in Kenya. Then I graduated. When I was in Form 3, I transferred to another school around Gong, where I went and I finished up my education. That is my Form 4. Then after finishing my Form 4, that is KCSE, I did very well. Then I got a scholarship to be in America, where I found myself here in America. Before I give out the story on how I came here, I just need to share a little bit of my story just in background, where I grew up.
Yes.
When I was at the age of 9 years, my father, who is my biological father, they had a conflict with my mom and they broke up, that I can say. But before they broke up, I personally, I had already left home and went to a different place where I used to stay with my aunt. Yes. I can say thank you to my aunt for taking care of me, because she did that out of a caring heart for many years. Although it was not so sweet, the life there was not very good. When you are staying with relatives and some relatives who are not caring, life is not that so best. So when I was class 6, that I remember, I think 2012, I decided to leave, that is for my aunt place, to go to my home place. Now when we went back home, I found 2011. I found my mom was in a very bad condition after my father and rejected me, and now has gone to reject the family.
Yes.
So that time my mom was not in a good position.
Yeah.
So because I'm the second born and our first born, who is my elder brother, was not able, because was not around.
Yeah.
He had already left to my shoes grandmom.
Yes.
Who lived in a very far place from our home place, and he had left to that place for academic purposes, you know,
Yes.
because we were not stable in our family to give out the best, you know, like because it's a family which had conflict. You know, most of the family in Africans, the way they usually have conflict here and
Yes.
there, which is normal for some reason.
Yes.
But sometimes I usually say they don't make sense because
Yes.
when you are given a gift of children, you
Yes.
need to take care of them, educate them, and give them their basic needs that they need. And so,
if I can take you back a little bit, that is where you started. Like, where were you first staying before you moved back to your grandma's place?
we used to stay with my dad and my mom.
Was that still in your village
In
or
my
in town?
village, actually. When I was growing up, my mom used to live in village.
Yes.
But that time my dad used to live in town for some duration of time.
Yes.
But when growing up, I can say since the age that I can remember myself, when I was in nursery, that is preschool, nursery school, I used to stay in Kadana now. That is in Machakos County.
Yes.
And that is in our own village. So that is where we started conflict. Like I can say that is where my father started the conflict between my mom and, you know, the
Yes.
family issue.
Yes.
And this was basically because we were growing up, and you know, when you have kids, they are growing up, they are demanding, and you know, I usually say most of the people usually make decision of marrying without being ready. That is what I usually say. Even if my dad called me today, because I usually respect him as my father,
Yes.
I usually tell him, Daddy, I think that time you are not in the right position to make a decision. These are your kids, and you are not kids, but you are the
Yes.
person who was responsible to take care of us when we were in your environment.
Yes.
But he did not do that. So here too, I was the first person to leave home.
Yes.
That is back in 2009.
Yes.
Then my brother followed 2010 after he graduated in primary. He went to my grandmom's place.
Yes.
Then I went to my aunt's place, where my aunt was not so good to me too.
Yes.
She used to mistreat me for some reason, you know, and I can say, you know, when you are living in a place which you are not born there.
You are a stranger.
Yeah, you are a stranger, I can say that.
Yes.
People will not even appreciate your effort, what you usually do. So life was not so sweet at that.
Yes.
Until the time that I decided I'm going back to my home place to see my mom, because, you know, there is that's something which was pushing me back.
Yes.
To go to see my mom.
Yes.
So the time that I went to see my mom, I found that my mom was not in a well position. Actually, she was in a very bad condition. She couldn't walk. She
Yes.
was messed, like I can say she was not well.
Yes.
And she had now our last born, a very young kid, you know, and
Yes.
life was not so sweet.
Yes.
Out of the mind that I usually say, brains, you know, when you are young and you have brains, you know.
Yes.
I made a plan that we should shift from our place, now that is my dad's place,
Yes.
to go to stay with my aunt,
Yes.
who lived still in Machakos County, but in Kadiani,
Yes.
where is almost $2 from our place. That is 200 Kenya shillings, fare.
Yes.
For one person.
Yes.
So I managed to go to fetch, you know, Changarawe.
Yes.
And out of that, I made a total of almost 800, where
Wow.
we used to be paid $30 shillings
Yeah.
per wheelbarrow. So I managed to shift my mom at my age at 11, to shift my mom from my dad's place to my aunt's place. Then when we arrived at my aunt's place, she was so welcoming to us. That is back in 2011.
Yes.
We stayed in my aunt's place until the time that I came to state. Is the time that I managed to
Okay,
change
if I
my
want to
mom's
take you
place.
back a little bit,
Yeah.
when you shifted from your daddy's place, like how were you managing to go to school?
Okay. When I shifted to my aunt's place, to my dad's place, now our homestead, now where I grew up, I went to my aunt's place, but unfortunately I did not join the school immediately.
Yes.
But my aunt had promised that she's going to be paying for my school fees when I will be at her place,
Yes.
and we stay together. Actually, I used to love her very much before I moved to her place, because I
Yes.
used to see she was caring. And my mom, I could hear she was really complaining. You know, it's a sister, but she used to complain. So, you know, she's my sister, but you know, when she has any assistance from her, she will be harsh, you know.
Yes, yes.
She will be tough
Yeah,
to
I
her.
understand that,
And
like-
because I am a kid, I couldn't understand. So I used to say, oh, my aunt, because, you know, my aunt has a car, my aunt has a lorry. Every time when I'm in my aunt's place, we used to eat bread, which is not normal in our place. When I was in my place, my dad's place, bread was like a miracle to see it on the table. So I decided, oh, I can move to my aunt's place, and we enjoy life. But when I went there, life was not the same again. Things changed, and I had now to stand as a man and to depend on myself. But she used to pay for my school. But I can remember, still when I was in school that time, I could be sent only 20 shillings to go for an exam. When I go home, she said, no, just go pick the bag, come back, we stay here. 20 bob is a lot of money, Those are challenges that usually happen, but they made me to be who I am today.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just a little bit about the life at your auntie's place. How were you managing to raise school fees? Because you said your mom was like down, she couldn't be able to raise even school fees.
Yeah.
Do you say like the little you were saving from the work you were doing is the one that you were paying for your school fees?
Okay, so because I went in a primary school, in public school, there is not a lot of payment that are needed. Maybe tuition fee, we have like, here we call it tuition fee. That is the whole tuition, for the whole semester. But in Kenya, the tuition fee, they call it now the remedials. I remember something like that. In the morning preps, in the evening preps, whereby you can pay 200 shillings, Kenyan shillings, per week, Each day you can decide to be paying 20, is according to the school. So I remember when I was in my aunt's place, it was like life was not that so sweet at her place, but she used to pay for me. But getting it out of her pocket, it will be like the whole story. Like who can be asked by the tomorrow come with 200 because you spend like almost 1 month, nothing was paid. So tomorrow you need to report with money. I will go very early in the morning, and before I finish up, when I was in my aunt's place, I remember she had a very young girl. I know now. I think she's a very grown up. She is a very grown up man now, lady. Nowadays she's a very grown up girl. So when I was in my aunt's place that time, I used to stay in my aunt's place, and I used to take care of that girl. Is like my cousin, cousin. So I will wake up very early in the morning to dress her, to give her bath, because before I leave to school, I will take her to kindergarten. Before I leave to school. So I used to wake up very early in the morning to milk the goat.
Which means you took the responsibility of your mom.
Yeah, the responsibility of my mom.
And now the other question, what about your siblings? How were they getting to school? Like how were they managing to get school fees?
So my sibling at that time, they were
by that time you said you were raising money by yourself to pay for your school fees. What about the other siblings?
Now my siblings we had, because during that time my brother who follows me now very close, because we have left each other around 5 years to 6 years. So you used to stay with my mom back in the village where now my dad's backgrounds. And my mom at that time had a very the last born, our last born, who is very young, and he had not already joined the school. And now the dad born, our dad born, he had just joined the kindergarten, where it's not expensive. He's like paying 200 per term, per whole term. Because it's just going to stay in the school. You are being taught on how to write, how to read. Not expensive like here in US. So mom couldn't afford, because she could do just casual work, out of what she do, she will get and pay. But the problem was on me and my elder brother, who was in high school. At that time he was in Form 1. So that's why my elder brother had moved to my shoes place to stay with her. And I had moved to my aunt's place, where my aunt will cater for me as I help her, in doing home chores. And where after helping her most of the time, she could just, sometimes it can happen, she be so harsh to me when I ask for the same, for any kind of money that I need, any payment, to extent that she can tell me just go pick your books, come back to at home and stay here until I get money. Whereby very well she can't lack like 200 shillings from her business. But because we are not all created the same, we used to understand. Until the last day when I saw my mom crying in front of her eyes, and I decided enough is enough. My mom will leave, and after leaving, after some period of time, I will have to follow my mom where I requested that I need just to go back to my own place to stay with my mom. But I can say God was pushing me to go to see my mom. Was in the last minute of her life because she was in a really mess.
Yes.
With by my father. Beaten, domestic violence where she was not in a good condition.
And where did she go now? When you said like she has to move, where did your mom move to?
Okay, now when I took my mom to my aunt place, that is back in 2011, we stayed at my aunt place. My aunt used to take care of us. The last born, they are last born in my mom place. They are last born.
Yes.
So my mom used to take care of us very well. My aunt used to take care of us very well. Although it was not that big environment. We used just to stay in 2-room house.
Yes.
A family of almost 14 people.
Yes.
So, but I can say the little that she could get from the farm, she will feed us.
Yes.
So out of that, my aunt used to manage to control us. So when I made an effort of taking my mom to my aunt's place, my aunt was so friendly. She took care of us almost for 10 good years until I finished my Form 4.
Your Form 4.
My Form 4. Yes. Maybe you have a question about where did I get school fees when I was
that was my next question, actually.
in Form 4. That is in my high school.
Your high school?
Yes. So when I graduated from primary school,
yes,
in my aunt place now.
Which year was that?
Was back in 2014.
2014.
Yeah,
okay.
2014. Life was not easy because we had a lot of school fees. This is the first time, nothing which is there.
Yes.
Actually, I remember my mom had reached a position that she said, Kevin, I don't think that you are going to join high school.
Yes.
But I said, I'm going, Mom. I must go back to high school.
Yes.
And I must go to study and achieve my dreams. That is what was in my mind every time when we were making a conversation with Mom.
Yes.
So, because I had scored very well 399,
yes,
I walked all the way, brother.
Wow.
I walked all the way from home to Machakos like each and every day to look for scholarships.
Yes.
Whereby I managed to get a scholarship from Family Bank Foundation, where they offered me a scholarship from my Form 1 to Form 3.
Wow.
Yeah, so they managed to pay my Form 1 when I joined in Form 1, that is back in Boni Boys High School,
yes,
Form 2, Form 3. But because of Form 3, I managed to change my school to a private school where it was also not easy there when I was raising my Form 4 school fees when I was in Form 4, just because of some family differences and a lot of stuff which came up, and but I can say starting from that time, Family Bank had an opportunity and had my back. They paid all my school fees. I usually thank them every time whenever I see. I usually thank them. Like I usually remember them because they are the foundation of who I am today.
I say that's hand is God.
Yeah,
God
sure.
is hand.
Yeah, sure.
God
it was not easy, but from that moment,
yes,
I can say my life has never been the same again,
yes,
until I finished my Form 4. Then after doing my Form 4, I scored very well.
Yes.
Then after scoring very well, I got a scholarship in Harvard University, where they admitted me in my school career to do my pre-med.
Yes.
In USA, you don't go direct to med school.
Nothing.
Yeah.
You have to start
pre-med so that you can join med school.
Yes,
to see if you are able to study that med school after doing pre-med. Yes. Whereby after graduating in pre-med, you are able to work. You can work as you continue with my med school. So they gave me scholarship. Challenges came when I got my I-20 and my whole forms to come to state. Yes. Because remember, in our home we have nothing which can make me to be in state.
My question is, how did you manage to get this scholarship?
Yes. Okay, I can say that I had my friend who was in state, but at that time was in Rochester, just around in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I asked him, brother, how can I be able to be to US,
Yes.
And according to the answer that he gave me, he told me that you can go in website, you look for the school you applied, because actually, when you are back in those countries, and you have families or you have friends in US, usually think that they can do for you everything, apply for you everything. Your work will be to go to embassy just to fill the form of embassy. You go to the embassy and you get your visa, but it's not like that.
Yes.
He just introduced me on how I can do it, and he told me you can get in website and you search for the school that you need to do,
Yes.
and you apply for them, and they will have a decision to pick you or not to pick you.
Yes.
That was what he told me. But out of that, because I'm not lazy,
Yes.
I used to go to school those each and every night to apply school. You can't believe that I had applied for 48 school.
Wow.
When I was joining here.
Yes.
But 18 of them accepted my application. Yeah, and one of the best is Harvard University and Stanford and Duke University.
Yes.
In med school. Basically because my background check of the studies was very good. Academic background was very good and was very strong.
Yes.
And my KCC result was so good. So they decided to give me a scholarship, which is not 100%,
yes,
where you have to pay 30%. And I said when I will be moving here, I know that 30% will not be so hard for me to get it, you know. Yes. And because we have those school scholarships that you can fill when you are in school. Yes. We have grantees that you can be given by international offices when you are in a standard of the money. So I said it's not going to be hard for me. But when I moved here, it was not the same.
Yeah, if I can take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when you finished high school, like your family was still down. How did you manage to raise the money to process everything to get it to the United States?
Yeah, okay. So my family had nothing at all. To process.
I'm saying this because there are many guys out there who are wishing like I could be in the same shoe as you are, and they are in the same shoe that they are thinking, how can I get this chance to go to the United States? So just to give them a glimpse
of hope. Yes, it's never too late, and it's never late. And I usually tell everybody, and especially who are watching me, there is nothing which is impossible in this world. Even if you come from the poorest family in the world, there is still light after every tunnel.
Yes.
I personally, many people rejected me out of the poverty that we had in our background home. I remember my mom had very many common names. Actually, I'm the person who has changed the names for my mom.
Yes.
You know, we have those Kamba names, they will stick on you.
Yes.
I don't know, people, because you don't have a place, you don't have home. But that has never entered me. Yeah. But the money that I got because you usually need around $300 to apply to pay for your service fee.
Yes.
You also need 18,000 Kenya shillings to pay for your visa interview, and you need also flight. But it was a miracle to me. I have a very good friend of mine who is Archbishop in my church.
Yes.
Archbishop held my hand and paid for my visa interview, and also paid for my service fee. Service fee. My friend from Georgia paid for me here. When I called them and I explained to them that I will be coming to state, and they knew me because of goodies that I used to do in church, and we are from same church. Yes. So when Archbishop said that Kevin is moving to state and there is somewhere where he need help, they decided to pay for my service fee, which was $300. That is almost 33,000 Kenya shillings. Yeah. So they paid for my service fee, and Archbishop paid for my visa interview fee, which was 18,400.
Yes.
I personally, because I had no hope to pay my ticket, where I will get ticket, I went and tried for Kenya Airways, and I usually thank Kenya Airways so much. Wow. Kenya Airways gave me a free ticket to JFKI, that is Jeff Kennedy. They paid my ticket, they give me everything. They paid my ticket, where I just, my work was just to be at airport at the right time, wait for the plane, board the plane until
you came to the United States.
Yeah, to United States, where my first destination was in New York. Now from New York, my friend who is still in Georgia, they paid a ticket from New York to Massachusetts, where I had my second because of my school. Then from there, I found myself here. When you arrive here, I usually tell other people, when you are here, you will learn more. Many of things that we cannot say on camera, when you are around, is when you will meet other Kenyans, is when you will meet other Nigerians, is when you will meet other Africans, other Nepals, and they will teach you on the ways to do and on the ways that you can be able to sustain yourself.
Yeah, if I can take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
How did you have a friend at the KQ who helped you to get to somebody to connect you to get the ticket to the United States?
I didn't have any friends
How did you manage to get
in
it there?
KQ, but I wrote a letter to their email.
Yes.
And fortunately, that I usually say it's like a God. You know, when God is there,
Yes.
everything just moves smooth.
Yes.
When I wrote a letter to KQ,
Yes.
I don't know, I can say now because he has become my friend. You know, that time I didn't know him.
Yes.
But the response that I got was from a friend of mine who is called Marimba.
Yes.
Yeah, and he is the person who responded to my email and asked me, Kevin, are you sure you got a scholarship? Are you sure you got visa? Are you sure you got everything that you need to travel to state? And I told him, yes, of course I have everything, and I can attach them into email that you have sent me to you to know that.
To verify.
Yeah, and I'm willing to be in state, but I have no means which can take me there.
Yes.
If it's maybe I get a loan from Kenya and I'm very young at the moment, no
Yes.
one who can approve my loan.
Yes.
So without you, I will not be able to be to state.
Yes.
So they followed my case.
Yes.
Actually, they followed my case. They found that I'm from very poor background.
Yes.
They followed my case. They found that my fees when I was in high school was paid by bank, and they decided to approve my letter. And I was given body ticket to be in that is in New York, where with KQ. The only, I think, is the only flight which comes direct from Kenya to
the
United States of America. So I found myself there. Then I usually thank you so much, and I really appreciate for KQ what they did to me up to today. I can't even repay back, and everybody who was good to me during the time of processing, because I met many people, others who were so abusive to me, others who were so friendly to me, others who could tell me I can't,
Yes.
but yeah, I made it.
But it took the hand of God.
It took the hand of God and a lot of pain and a lot of struggle. So if you are there and you have been willing, like you feel like, you know, I need to go to state, maybe things are so hard for me, don't give up.
Yes.
There is light after every tunnel. So just push, push and try. Don't, because you have tried the first time, you maybe the school has not given you admission, a chance to be there. Don't just say, this was my last try, I'm not going to try. Oh, you have tried a green card, is not working.
Yeah, because it's a luck.
It's a luck.
Yes.
Just continue trying. There is that time which God has just kept for you, and is just putting you in a position to test your patience.
Yes.
Then there is a time that you will say, oh, so God and these big plans for me, because today I'm here ready to be a doctor in very few years to come.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, and also I need also to be the first to graduate with doctorate degree at my youngest age.
Okay, if we can go after you landed in the United States.
Yeah.
Where did you land? Did you just come and you started boarding in hotel rooms, or there is somebody who hosted you?
Who hosted me? Okay. For me, was very different, because I told you, I knew nobody here apart from this friend in Georgia who we communicated at the last minute, and also a friend of mine who was my teacher in high school who is in Rochester and came here through green card. Nobody that I knew. Remember, they are here and I'm going to in different states. So when I came, I remember on my pocket I had $300.
Yes.
In New York, I paid for my 2 bags, $78.
Yes.
So in my pocket, I had less than $150 when I landed in Boston.
Yes.
So that time, I had nothing else. So I had to go to look for an hotel where I paid $30 per night, and they gave me breakfast.
Yes.
Then the morning, I booked for a groom transportation. They took me to school.
Yes.
Whereby when I reported to school, back to school, that is in my school, now international office welcomed me.
Yes.
And they talk to me. I explained to them that in my pocket I have nothing. I just thank God. Actually, if you go to that school up to date to international office and you ask them, Kevin, Musau, they will shout to you, made it. Because when I arrived on the gate, the person who was waiting for me, international director, I said when I was alighting from that vehicle, I said, yes, I made it. That was the only word that I said, and I said, glory to God, because I've made it. And all of them, they were so happy. Up to date, when I move in those offices, they usually, oh, yes, I made it. That is like a slogan that they have kept for me, and they usually motivate me and tells me that when you will be graduating, That day we will remind you the word that you said when you landed. Yeah, yes, we made it. So life was not easy. When I came here, it was very hard for me. But through international office, things were so smooth.
easy.
Yeah, so easy. Then from there, making friends, knowing roots, until now God granted me where I am and gave me green card.
Wow.
Yeah.
And now that story about the green card.
Yeah.
Yeah, because first time you got a scholarship, you had no green card back from Kenya.
Yeah.
So how did you came up to get a green card?
Okay, when I
Yeah,
landed,
because when you came here, you had no green card because there are some situations people come the way you came and they end up not getting a green card.
yeah, sure.
How
sure.
did you manage to get
So
your green card?
when I came here, because the year that I was flying to state, I had applied for green card, but the results were not out, and I had already applied for visa because my visa I got it on June, and I flied on August. So I had no green card and I had no hope that I'm going to get green card because my intention was to be in state. So even if now, for what reason, even if green card comes here, I have no essay for it. And I didn't know that green card has a very beneficial, not like a student visa. So when I landed here, staying for around duration of almost 1 year, because it was the result we are supposed to be in the next following year on May. So the result we announced, and when I checked, I found that they have selected me. I processed everything when I was here. I went to interview when I was here, and that is how I ended up getting my green card.
Guys, you hear that story? There are those outside here. In fact, most of the people outside here think like when you are in the United States, you can't apply and get a green card.
You are able to apply and you can get it, and you would not be able to go back to your country because you are already here. You don't need those. You are your own nose, because when you are in different country, like when you are in Kenya or you are in Tanzania or Rwanda, you need someone who is here to host you, to give, like a nurse is someone who is going to guide you on the life, on the process of life here in US, and where they will send the card to that mail. Because when you are here, you have security number, social security number, you have your license, you have your handles. So government has already proved that
provided
you have everything. So at the time that will be getting your green card, you don't need us, you don't need anybody. Your work is to go to migration interview. Then from there, they will grant you a green card that will be sent to your mail. So it's very possible. Don't be lied by people. It's not possible. It's very possible. Sometimes it's luck, and sometimes also I usually say it's possible. But that is not the only way that you can, you can maintain in the USA. We have many processes that you can, when you graduate in high school and you have in university, that is in colleges in state, and you have a very GPA points which are very good, you get a good work. Some hospital like nursing, they give you green card, which is work green card. For 10 years, after 5 years, you apply for citizenship, you be citizen here. So it's not much when you are in a student visa, you continue applying. Just work hard on your position as you try your luck. After some duration of years, if you are going to be a teacher, teachers, some school can sponsor you to get a work visa, which is a green card for 10 years. Then you are allowed when you stay in America for 5 years to apply for citizenship.
Wow, this is an amazing story, guys. You hear the story of Kevin Musau. This is a story most of the people out here, those who you don't have green cards. So this is a very, very interesting story. Follow Kevin Musau. You will be able to know more. So, like, if I may ask, what are some of the challenges you've been through since you've been in this journey here in America?
Okay, that is a very good question. People usually think like when you're in America, yes, of course, it's a land of honey and milk. But you're not just going to collect everything around.
You have to wake
up very early in the morning. You have to do a lot of work to get where you are today. So I remember when I was growing up, for those duration of years that I've been in US, it was not easy for me. Like, things were not the same way I was expecting. When I was in Kenya and I will see someone from America back, they have bought plots, they have a lot of, they have good cars, they have everything in social media, they are posting with their very best things, So I will say, life here is so sweet. But life here, we have challenges, which is very normal. I can say they are very different from the challenges that you usually encounter when you're in Kenya. Yeah, sweet challenges. I
Yes.
usually say they are sweet challenges. In Kenya, they are crying challenges.
Yeah, they push you
Yeah,
to the
they
right
push
point.
you to the yeah. So here challenges one, because for us who are migrants, English was not very good for us.
Yes.
Like I remember the day that I landed in State. I remember the day that I went to hotel.
Yes.
I went and I asked them, oh, okay, can you provide me with chips?
Yes.
Chips and some soda,
They were surprised. What is this guy saying about
What are you
chips?
talking about chips?
What
And
they
of
know about
course,
chips is something different.
yes,
from
and
what
of
we
course,
understand in our
they gave me chips.
country.
What I asked, they
Yes.
gave me chips.
And you
Which
meant
is
fries.
chips now back in our country. You can imagine the situation that you're having crips and soda. So it was not that easy for me.
Yes.
So I was like, what are these people doing? I asked them tips, they are giving me crips. What are they doing to me? So it was not easy for me.
Yes.
So another thing is calling. When I'm calling, they gave me a room and they
Yes.
told me, in case of anything, you can call us here. This is our number. You call the
reception.
The reception.
Yes.
If you need any help, they can help you.
Yes.
With my English is very fresh from Africa now.
Yes.
So many things they couldn't get what I'm saying, what I'm talking about. So I remember I called that night because I needed some water bottle,
Yes.
and they couldn't understand what I was talking. So when I called, who was in reception is asked me, what's your name? I said, okay, I'm Kevin.
Yes.
And I needed some, I practiced very well to say what, the words word by word.
Yes.
But it was so unfortunately when I called them, the words just blashed in my mind.
Oh, wow.
And nothing that I could say. So I just them water.
That's a big challenge.
Yeah.
That's
So
a
I
big
just
challenge.
asked, they asked, how can I help you, Kevin? They had the name, Kevin, room 102. Yes, how can I help you? I couldn't say anything, so I just told them, water bottle. So they were like, what happened with...
Actually, that's
So-
that's for everybody when we are new here, because
Yeah.
the act of the accent.
The accent is so hard.
Yes.
I can't say even for those duration of years I've been here. We have some words that actually they are not, especially, like your baby, you have your kid.
Yeah.
Now those that are the only people will grow up knowing all the American language,
Accent,
accent, they will be very friendly when they are talking. But for us who came when we are grown up, especially for a person who was from rural area like me, who has never been Nairobi.
That's interesting.
It is so hard. It was so hard for me. I remember I could go to my room and cry because I need something, but I can't.
Yes.
I need to go to some place and I don't know who by here how am I going to express, everything here deals with address.
Yes.
I don't know which address am I going to put. It was very hard.
Yes.
Until now, my friend from Nepal, they just introduced me because Nepal and Kenya, they are very similar.
Yeah, exactly.
They have similar English. So
Yes.
we grew up, those friends of mine who came here earlier, they told me, and I found myself in a very good shoe where now I can be able to communicate with anybody around.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So, actually, yesterday when we were trying to share a little bit, I realized you are a musician.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you realize that you can sing, and now you went up to where you are right now?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, basically, when I was in high school, I used to lead praise and worship.
Yes.
I personally is someone who loves singing. Like singing is, is in me. Not I'm in singing. Singing is in
It's
me.
in you.
So I love singing, especially gospel. I'm not saying secular music is bad, but I personally, I love all songs.
Your favorite?
But my favorite is gospel song because they taught me there is a time that I was in a very painful situation. That is when I was in Form 3, that
Yes.
December. It was one of my worst time during that time.
Yes.
And I came to realize, okay, God saw when you have God, everything can be so good,
Yes.
So I could listen to gospel worship songs from morning to evening.
Yes.
The next day until there's things in my mind. And when I was in high school,
Yes.
I used to lead praise and worship, and people used to love when I'm leading praise and worship. So that is the time that I have this talent. Because when I get mic, everybody will go to knees to pray. Like they will be like, oh, yes, there is that power inside Kevin. When you get that mic to pray, everybody, even if you are feeling lazy,
Yes.
you are going to pray.
Yes.
You are going to pray. So I realized, okay, so I can do this and I can pray.
Yes.
And from that moment, I started doing songs until the time that, you know, I have a lot of songs. Others, just go to my YouTube channel, not yet, but I have a lot of songs. I was looking for a producer around, but my brother here just introduced me to one. So I will be doing a record of many, many songs around me because I have a lot of songs that I need to give God thanks.
Robe Bundi, you are listening. This guy needs help.
Yeah.
You need to guide him on where to get the producer so he can be able to produce,
more
of his songs.
Yeah, more of my songs. So that is the time that I realized, oh, I can sing. So last year when just during my time, there is a time that I was very sick last year.
Yes.
So when I was in hospital bed, I could sing my own songs.
Yes.
They will just come flowing. Most of the time you will find me crying. And that is the time that I realized, okay, I have a talent. Let me open TikTok to be doing challenges for other people to know me.
Yes.
So that when I will be producing my own song now, they will, oh, this is Kevin who usually do.
Yes.
And I had one song that I had already done when I was back in Kenya.
Yes.
So I told my producer to upload it and people loved it, although it is not that so much, but people loved it. It's called Umaminifu.
Yes.
And it is like a song which I usually say, God is faithful God, because where he took me from zero to hero. I usually say that.
My question, when did you do this song? The ones that is now on YouTube?
Yeah, the one I did it when I was in Kenya, 2020 December.
Yes.
After COVID. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the time that I did it, but I left.
Yes.
When it was not uploaded. So when I was here, I just called my producer and I told him, okay, now you can upload the video because I feel now I can be able to. The time that I knew that now TikTok, they know me, you know,
yes.
I can be able to push it, you know, to push it to people. Yes. And when I introduced it to TikTok, people yes. really loved it and it just went. So yes. I'm planning because that was the first one and it has really done well. So I know when I'm going to produce more and more and more, people will really be blessed and I know it's going to do something great.
Yeah, if there is that one thing you can talk to the guys out there who have been in the same situation like you and they need help. Yeah. Can you talk to them and tell them on what to do to be able to overcome that or you overcame?
Okay, sure. So what I usually tell people when, even when because I usually say I usually motivate, that is this young generation that you are into today. One thing that I usually tell everybody, even if they are aged, they are young, they are old, everybody. Yes. I usually tell them, never leave God. You know you are God. Like everybody has God. If it's Christian, you know God. If it's Muslim, you know Allah. If everybody, you have their God. And to know when I go to my knees and to pray to God, God has never disappointed me. Yes. I personally have been rejected by many people, basically because I'm so deep in Christianity. Yes. So people will judge my appearance and this person sipendi kukaa na watu wameokoka, you know. Yes. People will reject you even in TikTok. Not everybody will appreciate. Kuna yule mtu anakonanga in FYP anasema huyu kijana kazi tu ni kuimba anaruka, you know. Yes. So I usually say those are challenges. Accept the way you are and go to the direction that you feel. When you walk in that direction, it's going to lead you to the right one. And believe in yourself. Always don't say I can't. Always say I can. I remember when I was in high school, I used to tell my classmates, next year I'm going to America. Yes. That is what I used to tell them. And they could tell.
Actually you did.
Yes, and they could ask me, when you're going to America to do what?
How
now? People have been planning to go to America since 1990, but they have never made it. But I told them, next year, at this time, we are in November. Next year by November, I will be America already settled and making my moves. That following year, I had my car, driving my car, and I had everything that I needed. So,
wow.
So, is when you believe yourself and you chase your dreams. Yes. Don't listen to other people. Just run your mind. Yes. Put your brain in positivity. Of course, as human being like you, brother, because you have started YouTube channel, not everybody will care for you. Not.
Exactly.
Others will be saying, why is he there? He has money. Why is he in YouTube? Yes. But don't listen to those negativity. Just focus in, I need to help people.
A dream.
So, yeah, there is a dream that I have of helping people to gain more knowledge in my channel. Exactly. So, I have that dream and my dream is making people happy, making people to learn more and making other people around me to know, okay, so they can make it. That is what I usually tell people. Don't listen to negativity.
Amazing.
Put your positivity in one sack, then go.
Exactly.
Let them follow you, because they will see you have already achieved, and they will see, oh, his brother Sam, he has 200 subscribers just the other day.
Yes,
so
exactly.
that is the dream, and I usually believe in myself, and I usually say, if you are there and to believe in yourself, everything goes to be perfect 100%.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Guys, if it's your first time here to be in our YouTube channel, to help us grow, you can go to Brother Sam TV. You can subscribe, share, so you can be able to support us. I'm so happy to have you, Brother Kevin.
I'm so pleased to meet you.
Thank you so much for getting your time to share a little bit of your story with us.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I know there is somebody. I'm very sure there is somebody out there who is in the same, who is walking the same shoe that you've been through.
Yeah, sure.
I know if they're going to get this story, they will change their mindset and they will start chasing their dream.
Very true.
Thank you so much for being here.
You're most welcome, and may God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye.